again for Tween and Teen Cooking to Go. The story that I'm going to read today is the Runaway Walk. And there's a recipe in the back of the book, and that's the one that we will be preparing. So the Runaway Walk by Ying Chang Compstein, and the pictures are drawn by Sebastian Cirea. One Chinese New Year's Eve, a poor couple sent their son Ming to the market. "Trade these last few eggs for a bag of rice," said Mama Zhang. "Then we can make some stir-fried rice to share with the neighbors." "It won't be much of a celebration again this year," Papa Zhang said with a sigh. "You'd think that by working for Mr. Li, the richest man in Beijing, would have enough to invite everyone over for the New Year's feast." Ming hurried off, eager to do his mother's bidding. It saddened him to see his hard-working parents being cheated by the greedy Mr. Li. As he walked, he daydreamed about what a real feast would be like and how nice it would be to have just one new toy to share with his friends. A small old man stopped Ming near the market. "Hello, son. I see you have some eggs there. I will trade you this wok for them." "No," said Ming. "I need rice. Besides, your wok is rusted and has no handle." Just then the wok sang out, "Boy, boy, trade for me. I am more than what you see." Ming had never heard a wok sing. He thought this wok is magic. If it can sing, it must be able to do other amazing things. So he made the trade. The old man sauntered off, chuckling happily to himself. Ming's mother wasn't happy. "Why did you trade for this battered old wok? What are we going to cook in it?" Before Ming could answer, the wok sang out, "Mother, make me shine so bright, and you shall have food to share tonight." "See, Mama," said Ming, "it's a special wok." "Let's do what it says," said Papa Zhang. "We're all hungry." So Mama Zhang washed and polished the wok until it sparkled, then she set it out on the table. To their surprise, it rolled off the table and out the door. "Where are you going?" cried Mama Zhang. "Skippity-hoppity-ho, to the rich man's wife I go," sang the wok, and it briskly hopped down the road. Oh my goodness. The wok skipped all the way to the Li kitchen. Mrs. Li was overseeing the servants prepare the New Year's feast for her family. The Li's never shared their food with anyone. The wok plopped down on the counter. "Where did this come from?" asked Mrs. Li. No one knew. "Well, put it to good use," she ordered. "It will make a nice serving bowl." So the servants put in the wok festive stir-fried rice, pork dumplings, kung po chicken, steamed buns, and walnut shrimp. There was still room for more. They added long-life noodles, ginger fish, and rice cakes. Yet still there was room for more. "Keep filling it," commanded Mrs. Li. "I must go change for the party." No sooner had the servant set the last bit of food in the wok than it jumped out of the window. "Skippity-hoppity-ho, to the poor man's house I go," sang the wok as it trotted down the road, brimming with delicious food. The Zhang family could hardly believe their eyes. They gleefully removed the food and set up a big feast. As soon as it was empty, the wok rolled out to their courtyard. "Where you going?" cried Ming. Skippity hoppity ho, to the rich man's son I go, sang the walk as it galloped away. Wow, that's a lot of food that the walk brought back. Let's see where he's off to. The walk caught up with the rich man's son, Lane, at the market, who, though he had many toys, he never shared them with other children. The walk blocked the road in the front of him. "What's this?" wondered Lane. "I could use it to hold all my goodies," and without bothering to find the owner, the chubby boy grabbed the walk. Lan brought fireworks, toy dragons, cymbals, and drums. He piled them into the walk, and there was still room for more. So he bought lanterns, yo-yos, and kites. Finally, his weak arms grew tired, and he headed home. Boy, that's a load of stuff. When Lane arrived home, he put down the walk and went to find his mother. No sooner had he turned his back than the walk hopped away. Skippity-hoppity-ho, to the poor man's house I go. It pranced all the way back to the Zhang's house with all the goodies safe inside. Ming bounced with joy as he emptied the walk. "There are enough toys here for all my friends," he exclaimed. The walk rolled over to the door and out of the courtyard once again. "Where are you going?" called Mrs. Zhang. "Skippity-scappity, happity-ho, to the rich man's house I go," sang the walk as it spun down the road. Ooh, I wonder what it's going to get this time. The walk arrived at Mr. Li's shop just as he was counting the money he had cheated out of the poor people at Beijing. It leaked through the window and landed on the counter in front of him. "Well, here's a nice pot to hold my money." Mr. Li put a handful after handful of gold coins into the walk, and there was still room for more. He dragged out a bag from under his counter and dumped all those coins into it too. Wow. Check out all the gold coins. And look at the cat watching. No sooner had Mr. Li emptied the last of his coins into the walk than it jumped out the window. "Skippity-hoppity-ho, to the poor man's house I go." It scooted down the road all the way back to the Zhang's house with all the money safe inside. Ming and his parents danced with delight. They invited all the poor people in Beijing to their New Year's feast. Mother Zhang served the food. Father Zhang divided the coins up among the families, and Ming's handed out the toys to all the children. In the middle of the party, without anyone noticing, the walk slid out the door. "Skippity-hoppity-ho, to the rich man's house I go." It hopped to Li's house, where the father and mother and their spoiled son were weeping and wailing and blaming each other for their misfortune. When they saw the walk, they jumped up. "There's the walk that took all our food," cried Mrs. Li. "And my toys," whined the boy. "I'll break it for stealing our gold," vowed Mr. Li. The walk sang out, "I dare you three to try and catch me." Mr. Li tried to get up, but found that he was stuck tight. When Mrs. Li grabbed his legs to pull him out, she slipped into the walk too. Chubby Lane finally arrived out of breath. "Help, help, pull us out," cried his parents. Lane grabbed their legs but lost his balance and fell inside with them. Check them out. They fell inside. They're upside down in the walk. Wonder what the walk is going to do with them. "Skippity-hoppity-ho, too far away I will go," sang the walk as it tumbled down the road with the Lee family inside, legs waving in the air. Dragon dancers, drums boomed, cymbals crashed, and fireworks banged, drowning out the Lee's family cries. No one noticed as the walk sped off to the distant hills. The Lee family was never seen again in Beijing. Wonder what the walk did with them. Let's turn the page and see. As for the Zhang family, they opened a shop selling walks of all different sizes and styles. Every year they hosted a glorious New Year's feast for all of their friends and families. And to think, it all started with a rusted walk with no handle. Pretty cool. I think we should read the author's note to see the story, what happened to the family. Maybe she'll say. Author's note. The Chinese lunar calendar is based on the phases of the moon. The Chinese New Year, also known as the Spring Festival, begins on the first new moon of the year and ends at the first full moon, marking a 15-day celebration that usually starts between mid-January and early February. It is the most significant Chinese holiday and emphasizes sharing. Many rituals and traditions are carried out. Dragon and dance troupes, led by cymbal and drum players, went through the city streets. Excited spectators light firecrackers, creating a series of deafening bangs. The racket is believed to scare off the evil spirits and ensure a new year full of health, prosperity, and happiness. Food is an important aspect of the celebration. Families and friends gather from far and near to share New Year's Eve feasts and to wish each other a prosperous and happy New Year. Among the dishes traditionally served are whole fish and chicken, which stand for abundance, dumplings, and steamed buns, representing togetherness, crab and shrimp, which symbolizes prosperity, rice cakes and sweet rice pudding symbolizes happiness, and noodles, which represent a long and happy life. The most significant dish for the children is the festive stir-fried rice cooked in a wok. The various ingredients in this dish represent harmony and happiness. Parents urge their children to eat it so they will get along in the coming year. The cast iron wok was invented in China during the Han Dynasty, 206 BC, AD 220. Even today, it is still the main cooking utensil used in Chinese cuisine. The northern style wok with one handle is slightly lighter than the southern style wok, which comes with two handles. The traditional wok is a symbol of sharing because it is big enough to cook a meal for many families. After reading the traditional Danish folktale, The Talking Pot, I decided to write a story about the Chinese wok, a symbol of sharing. So, it sounds like to me, the Lee family did not share and they were very wealthy. And that's why the wok would come and would take different things from them to take them to Ming. Very cool story. So at the end of this book is Festive stir-fried rice. So stay tuned because I will be doing a Tween and Teen cooking to go video showing you how to make this recipe. Hi, this is Miss Ann for Tween and Teen Cooking to Go. This week's recipe comes out of the Runaway Walk picture book that we have here at the library. All summer long, we will be doing book-themed recipes out of the children's department. So for this recipe is stir-fried rice. Festive stir-fried rice. You will need a half a teaspoon of salt, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 cup of uncooked rice, 3 tablespoons of raisins, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, 3 large eggs, 2 finely chopped green onions, 3 cloves of garlic chopped, 1½ cups of shelled frozen green soybeans, edamame or green peas. I have frozen green peas. 1 medium yellow or red bell pepper, seeded and chopped into 1-inch cubes. 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of toasted pine nuts or other nuts, which is also optional. You will need a stovetop, non-stick wok or a skillet, medium-sized bowl, a spatula. So the first thing you're going to do, you are going to cook 1 cup of white rice, and you're going to need a pan. You're going to need 2 cups of water. So put that in your pan, add the 1 cup of rice, boil, get it to boil. You're going to put it down to simmer, and you will simmer it 15 to 20 minutes until the water is absorbed. And then use a fork. Be really careful because it's going to be super hot. And use a fork to check it. As long as it's flaky and a little bit and it's soft, it is done. You need to let it cool. Need it to let it go to room temperature. My rice, I cooked it already the night before, so it's cold. So that is the first thing that you will do, is prepare your white rice. And you'll need 3 cups of white rice when it's done, when it's cooked. That's what you'll have. Now we are going to crack our eggs so we can scramble them, beat them, whatever you would like to call it. Be really careful you don't make an egg mess. You want to make sure that you wash your hands after you crack them. I'm going to use this whisk to beat them, scramble them all up. You're going to add a ½ teaspoon of salt. Go ahead and mix that up. Set it aside. The next step, you're going to take your 2 green onions and chop them up. You want to make them into small pieces. And you want to chop up the green part too. Slice it all up. I love onions. These green onions smell really good. Okay. Go ahead and mix them in your egg mixture. What it looks like. Looks good. So while we are waiting for my skillet to heat up, you could use a skillet or a wok, like a non-stick skillet or non-stick wok. I'm letting it heat up on medium heat so I can add my 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You want to make sure your hands are clean. You wash them all the time. So I'm going to show you my red bell pepper. I already cut it and cleaned it. You want to make sure all of the seeds are out of it. And we're going to cut it up into small pieces. Be careful of your fingers. You might want an adult helping you do this. cut this all up. I'm not really good at cutting stuff up. And this blade is dull. So when you have a dull blade, be careful, because that's when you're going to cut yourself and hurt yourself really bad. And you don't want to do that. And you want your pan nice and warm, because you are going to put your scrambled egg mixture in it. What I do, I just cut sections off of my pepper like this. Try not to make a mess. Just keep chopping it up till you have it done. I am making a mess because I'm getting pepper on the counter. It's okay. You can clean it. After I do chop up this red bell pepper, I'm going to chop up the garlic. It calls for 3 cloves, but the cloves that I have are pretty big. So I think I'm going to only use 2. So it's up to you. If you really like garlic, you can use all 3. I have a Pampered Chef garlic press, and that's what I'm going to use. See, that garlic clove is pretty big. So this is cool. So you put it in there, press it down, and you see it coming out the bottom. And you see how the skin and everything stays on the top. We're going to do another one, the same exact thing. This one's going to be really hard, and it's probably going to squirt out of the top of it, which it is. It's okay. So I take my knife, scrape that off. Ta-da! There we go. Make sure you wash your hands after you cut up your vegetables. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Calls for 3, but we're going to hold 1 over because we're going to need that to saute the garlic, red peppers. Swirl your olive oil one spot that it's not getting. There we go. Aha, ta-da, like that. Go ahead and add your egg mixture. Be very careful because it's super hot. And you should have your spatula handy. I'm going to swirl that a little bit. We're going to let that cook. It says for 30 or 40 seconds. So my scrambled egg mixtured with the salt and the green onions, it's done now. It's all cooked and it's nice and brown. So we are going to transfer that to a different bowl. You're going to add, go ahead and put this back on the heat. Add the remaining 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Swirl it around a little bit. Our pan is still covered from the egg mixture. You want to go ahead and add your garlic. Okay. Starting to sizzle. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add the 1.5 cup of peas. I used frozen peas, so it's going to take 3 to 5 minutes. And we're going to let them get happy in the skillet. The peas are looking really good with the garlic. So go ahead and add your red pepper. And let that get happy in the skillet. We're going to mix it up. Very pretty. That's why it's called Festive stir-fried rice. This just smells amazing. And look at it, looks really good. So the peppers are getting really soft. We're going to go ahead and add our rice and get that heated up. Should be using a large wooden spoon, but I decided to use my spatula. So we're going to break the clumps up and heat that up. We're going to add the 2 teaspoons of sesame oil to it. And 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Oh, it smells so good. 2 and 3. Mix that up. We're going to add the raisins. We're going to let that warm up before we add our egg mixture. Look at how pretty this is before I add the eggs mixture. Let's go ahead and add the egg mixture. It's warmed up really nice. Everything is happy. So you want to mix the egg mixture in it and heat that back up. Kind of reminds me of fried rice. And I know it's kind of weird putting raisins in it. You can put raisins or cranberries, and I chose to put raisins. Now look at it. It's so pretty. We're going to let that warm up. And it smells so good. This is what our festive fried rice looks like. Now, the true test. Let's see what it tastes like. Now you have to get a piece of egg in there. I need to try this one more time with a raisin. I give this a thumbs up. This is really good. I've never had stir-fried with raisins before, but it's delicious. So thank you for watching my book-themed tween and teen cooking to go. Stay tuned for the next one for this summer.